All right, so last weekend, some buddies and I went on a little off-road camping trip, and we took 4 vehicles out to City Creek Trail. It's kind of in the Angeles Oaks area, and then went and camped down at Slide Lake. It's really just a creek area where the creek runs through. I think it's called Bear Creek, and there's some really nice little spots to sit out there and camp. It was an awesome trip. We had an absolute blast. It was myself, another buddy with a camper, and then 2 other vehicles. And then we all hung out and had some beers and had some Al Pastor tacos. So I'll show you a little bit of the spread that we had for dinner. And then 2 of the vehicles had to roll out late that night because they had to get up for their kids' soccer games in the morning. But the 2 campers, my buddy and I, hung out there and camped overnight and did a little hiking in the morning. So the reason I'm giving you an update is that we had a little damage on the trail. It's the first time I've had any damage to the Boma, and so I'm going to show you that. Thankfully there was no real, nothing that was functionally damaged. Everything works fine. It was just kind of a difficult trail, real tight as we're going down the Slide Lake Trail. In fact, I'm not sure I would recommend taking a camper down there, only because it's really, really narrow. Tons of pinstriping both on my vehicle and on the camper. The campsites were really great, but coming back up, I mean, if there was another group of Jeeps or something coming down the trail, there's just no place to back up, no place to turn around. In fact, we were coming to the top of that trail, and my buddy Travis, who's behind me with his camper, says we get just to the very top, like the last turn before it kind of flattens out, and he goes, man, it's a good thing nobody else was coming down this trail. I don't know if we would have been able to back this thing down, or they'd have to back up. It's nearly a mile, this whole trail, so, and there's no way to tell if somebody's coming down it because it's so tight with trees all the way down. And literally right after he said that, around the next turn I see a Jeep coming. Thankfully we're right at the top. So that group of vehicles, there was like, I don't know, it had to be 6 to 8 Jeeps. They all had to back up to let us out, but it was only a few hundred feet, so it worked out. But anyway, I'll show you some video of us on the trail. It was a really fun trail, and Slide Lake was really beautiful. I'll show you the campsite, and then I'll show you the rock that did the damage on the Boma, and I'll show you a little bit of the damage, and then I'll show you my repairs today. So there's my Jeep. You can see we've been on the trail. We were on the trail all day. We got in a little later than I expected, so because it was just me and the camper, I just threw out one side. I only opened up one side of the camper for me to sleep in. So just a really quick setup. In fact, I didn't put the bedding out. I just put a bed out, threw a sleeping bag on it, and real quick setup, so I was ready to go. You can see that we got a little pinstriping on the side, so it was a little narrow at spots. Kind of a tough trail, but the Bushwacker handled it just fine. And of course, that's what I got this thing for, is to go off-road and take it on these kinds of trips. But you can see here's my little camp setup, kitchen, still in perfectly good working order. I was making some coffee this morning, and then we're doing up some dishes as well. So this is what it looks like when it's sort of a quick, one night setup, just one bed out, but you still get plenty of room for your sleeping and plenty of room inside the camper for all the stuff you might need. So that trail was real narrow. In fact, this trailer, as I've mentioned, is no wider than my vehicle. I mean, my vehicle is the same width, and you can see that I got some nice pinstriping on my vehicle as well. It's a little hard to see because I just got it waxed to try to keep the paint as nice as possible. But we can see that there's a little pinstriping all along there. And then here's where I hit a rock. So you can see there's a little bit of damage to the handle of the jack. Now it looks like this should be really easy to replace if I want to, but it's still functioning properly, so I can just swing it down like that. And then you can also see it took a little damage here on the battery box. So there are 2 battery boxes on this vehicle, one on either side. And I'll show you a video, or a picture I should say, of the rock. I didn't catch us hitting the rock, but it just dropped off a little more precipitously than I anticipated. And when I opened up the battery box from inside, as a testament to how well designed designed these trailers are and how well built they are, there's absolutely no damage to any of the components. Everything's functioning perfectly. So it's a little dinged up, a little bent, but nothing that is causing any functional problems. So thankfully, Bushwacker supplied some paint, some touch-up paint. So what I'm gonna do today is just get the paint that they've given me and roll it on and you know, cover up all these scratches, and we should look you know, not quite good as new, but you know, pretty nice. I also went to, you know, the local big box store to get some matching paint. So I'm going to try a little bit of that out on a small spot first to see if that matching paint does in fact match and blends in nicely, so that I have plenty of matching paint for future pinstriping as it might occur as we're on these trails. Of course, this is why I got this thing, so you know, I'm not really worried about it, but you know, it's fairly new to me, so I'd like to keep it looking as nice as possible for as long as I can. So as I mentioned, Bushwacker supplied me with a little bit of touch-up paint. So I just got a little touch-up kit. I'm gonna try to use that and see how it looks. I also tried out the matched paint that I got. So we'll have a look at that and see if it matches as well as I hoped. And that way I'll have plenty of extra paint if I get more scratches in the future. All right, so there's a little touch-up. It took me about 30 minutes. It's not perfect by any stretch, but I think it just makes the marks and the lines look a little bit less obvious, and just cleans it up a little bit. Obviously, you know, I got this thing for off-road adventures, and so it's going to get dinged up and scratched up, and that's just part of the reason why I got it. But you know, I'm trying to keep it look as nice as I can, and a little bit of touch-up paint here and there, I think will keep it looking reasonably good. The other little modification I had to make was I put these little bungee straps on. The reason is that at high speeds on the freeway, this Velcro started to pull loose, and this will be flapping around a little bit. So, you know, this little stone guard isn't really necessary, but it, you know, again, tries to protect the rig as much as possible. And I found if I just hook these little bungee cords here, then it just prevents this from flapping around more, and then just keeps it from coming loose. So a slight little modification just to hold it in place a little better when I'm on the freeways. And one of the viewers on my channel asked me to give a walk around on my Jeep. And I hate to disappoint you, but I haven't really done much. It's pretty much bone stock. It happens to be the 4x4 Overland edition. It's the 2012 model with the Hemi V8 in it. It's got the Quadratrac 2 system. That system has been really capable off-road. And all I really did was put some larger tires on it. The largest tires I could fit on this rig are 32s. So these are BFG KO2s, just on standard rims that have been powder coated black. I just like the look of the black rims, and these are just, let's see, they're 275, 65 R18s. So, you know, nothing really special going on here. So I hate to disappoint you, but I, you know, haven't done anything with it. That's one of the reasons I wanted a trailer to do some of our overlanding trips. This thing has plenty of space inside to throw tents and overlanding stuff, but I wanted to be able to have a refrigerator and all the things that make the overlanding experience a little bit more comfortable. The only thing I've done really is add new floor mats, you know, the WeatherTech floor mats. But you can see it's got really beautiful leather interior, really nice color. So this vehicle's been just great for me. And the thing I love about it is so capable off-road, but it's also really nice for going out to dinner and doing things around town. So I think for me at least, having the trailer is nice, because now I can have all of my camping gear all ready to go, and all of the vehicle doesn't have to be altered much to be able to accomplish some really remote and very cool camping trips. All right, so thanks for tuning in. Hope you dug my little video, just showing a little bit of the minor dings this thing got on our last trip. I think the touch-up looks okay. Now I wasn't expecting perfection. I certainly didn't put a ton of time into it. I just wanted to try to cover up some of the scratches and make sure it's still going to be well equipped to resist any weather we encounter by you know, covering up those scratches so that we still have a layer of paint there. So hardly perfect, but certainly good enough. Again, I bought this thing to go off-road, to explore trails that I can't get to with a big fancy camper, something that's a little more durable, a little bit more off-road. And so, you know, a little bit of scratches, dings, scrapes are going to be part of the trip. All right, take care. We'll see you next time.